Hey everyone, it's Rod with the Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also the channel that was created by a retail investor for retail investors and home to the best MJ community. Today is Monday, it's October 7th. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well and hope you had a great weekend as well. And in this video, we're going to be discussing some not so great news. Unfortunately, it just keeps getting worse for Canopy growth investors. We've got multiple bear flags. We had an hourly bear flag. We had a daily bear flag, and now we have a weekly bear flag. That's potentially saying we could see $3.10 USD, which pre-split, that's 31 cents. So this stock has been absolutely wrecked, and we could potentially see 310 as the next stop. And there was a weekly bear flag that confirmed. Not great. Stock closed at 420 today. Not a bad number, but a pretty bad number when the all-time high is 592 after the split. So $592 all-time high. We're sitting at 420. There's definitely some rattled people out there, but that'd be more like 42 cents, like I said, post factoring in post-split. But yeah, we'll get to the chart. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on what to expect in terms of price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. But before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You've been notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, this is not financial advice. You should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. This is entertainment purposes only. You can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And full disclosure, I do own Canopy Growth in my portfolio. It's only a few percent of my entire MJ portfolio. If you haven't seen that video, I posted one a few weeks ago with an update and percentages as well of each one. But this is why I've been holding off on CGC for a while now. I was very confident they probably were not going to hit any kind of profitability metrics until at least 2026, maybe 2027. There's other names in Canada that are just starting to turn profit now. And CGC was likely going to be on the tail end of that. So I saw no rush to rush into CGC, and I actually didn't own any Canopy for the longest time. I just started buying it probably a year or so ago. And I was just waiting for, I learned my lesson with my first kind of, MJ investments, that it can always go lower than you think. And I just was very, very patient. And I wasn't completely sold on their business. And then once Canopy USA came, that new entity, and then they acquired Jetty and Wana, and then they're more than likely going to get acreage by the spring 2025 time. So I think, 2026, 2027, we could see a huge turnaround for this stock. And it's not 50% of my portfolio. It's not 10%. I'd say it's somewhere around 5% of my entire MJ portfolio, maybe slightly lower. And that's just because I wasn't 100% sold on their business model. But right now, it's a pretty attractive price. And if anybody can turn it around, it's Constellation Brands backed Canopy Growth, in my opinion. Yes, Constellation, their investment didn't, age too well, but like they said, it's just the fact that they were early, not wrong on their thesis, right? And I think that's going to be the case. I think Canopy will survive long term. And, there's the B word coming back up in the, in the retail sector, or in the retail audience, I guess, because once prices start to get to, all-time lows and 52-week lows, there's always the B word that people love to throw out. But we had our daily bear flag. We had a close at the low of the day today. We had an hourly bear flag. That was 434. We hit that. Then we had a daily bear flag. The target for that is 411. We could very well hit that tomorrow, seeing as how we closed at the low of the day today. And that's only about 2% away. So we can basically lock that in as saying it has been met. And then we zoom out to the weekly and we look for this common theme, and that common theme is just another bear flag. We had a high, we had a low, right there. High, low, lower high, and lower low. So you would take and I'll redraw this so it's a little bit more clear. So you just go from the high there to the low of the dump, and it would have been that candle right there. And then we finally started the bounce. The bounce just means we broke the high of the previous candle. So we hadn't really done it except for this one here, which was the last week of September. So we had a pretty big bounce. We had to break 480 and we hit a high of 531. So that was definitely a nice bounce, but it wasn't very strong because we couldn't even get above the 0.236. What do we know about bear flags? Anything below the 0.32 fib is a potential bear flag and more downside. So 598 was the level to break. We didn't even get above 535, the 0.236. So very weak bounce. And then once we came back down and lost 435, that confirmed the weekly bear flag. And then you just take your move there from the high to the low, move it out to your 0.32 fib, and it's saying about 310 USD is in the cards. And like I said, factoring in, if we're not factoring in the split, that's more like 31 cents, right? So the stock's been absolutely destroyed, but because of the 1 for 10 reverse split, it's 310, and we sit with an all-time high at 592. So we have pulled back over 99% from the all-time high. So again, the reason why I don't put 10 or 20% of my portfolio into CGC or into Canopy Growth is because you don't need to invest a ton of money into this thing. If this thing goes back to all-time highs, right, from current levels, you're looking at a 136x. So $1,000 into $136,000. So why am I going to, break the bank and take a second mortgage on my house, or, it doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to put, a few $1,000s max. I think the most that I would ever put into this is max $5,000, right? I think I got somewhere around probably 2,000 or 3,000 at the moment. And I'll look to really go heavy if we do get close to that 30 cent area, or I guess I should say $3 post split. But this is a massive inverse head and shoulders here on the monthly time frame as well. So we'll see if that ends up playing out. But if we just take our head and shoulders tool here, we'll just give you a rough idea. So it would look like this, and this is a bullish reversal pattern. Yeah, if this thing were to confirm, we'd be looking at, let me just get the measured move here for you. It'd be a move up to around $100, but that's only $10 pre-split, right? So $100 seems pretty crazy, but it's only $10, and we were at $56 in February 2021, or now $564. So it's crazy how things can change with a reverse split in enough time. But this stock has been absolutely destroyed. People have been absolutely destroyed. This thing and Aurora have really been hurting investors. Most MJ's down 98% in Canada. There's names like Tilray as well, absolutely destroyed. If you look at February 2021 highs to where we are now, 97% down. I mean, for crying out loud, MSOS from February 2021 and all-time highs, even it was down almost 92%, and that's an ETF that tracks all the major names in the US, right? So if an ETF is down over 92%, that's telling you that the whole sector is just super volatile and nascent. It's not that it's going anywhere. It's not that it's going to zero and going to cease to exist. It's just, it's nascent, and there's still so many growth catalysts, right? Like we could be up here maybe when we start to see other European nations legalize. We could be up here when the US legalizes at the federal level, which they're already talking about potential of that happening as part of some different presidential campaigns. So we're going to see more and more rhetoric pick up and just overall pumping of MJ into the election. We hard to believe it's less than a month now as well. So, we don't have that much longer to go, in my opinion. I think 10 to 20 days before the election, they're going to really start to pump MJ. We know that swing states are a big, could be the defining factor, and younger voters. So what are they going to want to do? Swing states are very pro MJ, so they're probably going to want to focus on that. And what else do young people like? MJ. So they'll probably use that 10, 20 days before the election as close to as possible. And then I think, Florida's going to pass adult use, mid 60 percentile more than likely. And then we should see, we could even see excise tax improvement in Canada. Like that would be huge. They're probably going to acquire acreage. So there's so many catalysts as well from, a Canadian federal legalization perspective, the US, around the world, and then specifically some insight into Canopy Growth. But we're not going to hear about acreage. That's probably not going to be fully closed until spring of 2025. So we're probably not going to get any real insights into their financials of Canopy USA until maybe third or fourth quarter of 2025, right? So we got some time, and it's more than likely going to be a while before they turn any kind of profit, right? So we'll have to just monitor it. But as of right now, I'm just continuing to nibble at CGC, and I'll go pretty heavy, getting close to that 30 cent mark or $3 USD on the NASDAQ. We are seeing a bull cross of the stochastic. The MACD's not yet crossing bullish, but it's not too far off, maybe a week or so. So we could see one more final flush down. And if we did see that move all the way down to 310, I think it would more than likely be on the S&P 500 and macroeconomic tensions mounting around the world potentially. I think it would be more of a broader market sell-off though. But yeah, we're well below all of our weekly moving averages, 420, everyone's favorite number, but not in this case. Like I said, when the all-time high is almost $600, factoring in post-split. And we had the death cross, right? So we had an hourly bear flag, daily bear flag, weekly bear flag, and a daily death cross with the 50 above the 200-day. So death cross, what more confidence could you need to expect downside at this point, right? So that's why I've been just staggering my buys. I had a buy order. I bought some at the daily bear or the hourly bear flag target. I'll buy some near the daily bear flag target, and I'll buy some near the weekly bear flag target, right? Scale in. So, all right, I wanted to end it there. Like I said, it's brutal, unfortunate, but it is what it is. Don't hate the messenger. I'm just relaying what the charts are saying. And like I said, I think that, we could see one more leg down. We could see one more capitulative move and flush, but that would more than likely coincide with some sort of broader market pullback as well. And more than likely just be healthy, right? SPY near all-time highs, not set up well if we were to see a 5-10% correction there, which would be healthy. All right, going into it there, let me know what you think of this in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with the Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next one.